Again, good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to Southeast Asia Talk 38, organized by the Center for Southeast Asian Social Studies and Center of Excellence on Social Science, Universitas Gadjah Mada. In cooperation with the Department of Education and Future Design, Tamkang University, this evening we have our second series of book discussion on CESASS edited volume, this one, entitled Social Science in the Age of Transformation and Disruptions, Its Relevance, Role, and Challenge. We are very grateful to have Prof. Deng. Good evening, Prof. Deng. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm good here. Thank you. I received it just 2 days ago. Thanks so much.
Only 2 days ago. Okay.
Yes.
All right, but it's good that it arrived safely there. All right, thank you very much. And also we have Mas Falik, our discussant today. Good evening, Mas Falik. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you. Welcome, Mbak Ita.
Okay. Right. Without further ado, I would like to invite our director, Professor Hermin Indah Wahyuni, to open our discussion today. Prof. Hermin, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Ita, as the moderator. It's always accompany us as the moderator. Congratulations, I have to say, and we are very happy, very grateful to have all of you this evening, and especially our very good friend, always in our heart, Professor Jian-Bang Deng, that always support us from the first time that we know each other in research center until now. He has a very good position, very important position. I think that we hope that with the collaboration that we have, we can always facilitate the students and the lecture, maybe that can visit and a stronger collaboration with Taiwan. Congratulations also to Prof. Deng also joined us in this book, writing about social science and transformation of society, an observation from Sociology Department in Taiwan. But actually, I always amazed with the focus from Professor Jian-Bang Deng and colleague, because they focus on future studies. Yeah, Prof. Deng, you have
yes
in that kind, and I with Mas Hakim always talking that, oh yeah, they have very strategic things, yeah, and I don't know, hope that we also in the sociology department in UGM, you also will develop future studies like that. And very happy also that we have our rising star sociologist, Dr. Falik Isbah, that accompany us this evening as discussant for Professor Deng, and hopefully that it can open the possibility for the sociology department and and also we have also Mas Hakimul Ihwan here, can collaborate also with sociology department under the head Professor Deng, Jian-Bang Deng. And also we also very happy Professor Fadil Nurdin join us this evening. Thank you very much that you also congratulate us to show your what is that the ties with the UGM to join us in this discussion. Thank you very much. And also we have many students here also. We have also Mbak Litwina Mutia from Communication Department, and I hope that more and more will join us. Anilo also always with us. Thank you very much. This book is, we need more than 2 years to realize this book. Yeah, slowly but sure, Mbak Ita always as the guardian, always. And finally, we have this book. Thank you very much, and hope that everything well. And this evening we can discuss the perspective from Taiwan, and also we can what is that? Maybe we can take a look the possibility to have research together. Maybe. Thank you very much, Mbak Ita. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Hermin, for the opening speech. Now, I would like to invite dear everyone, Professor Jian-Bang Deng. He is a professor of sociology. He currently serves as the director of the Graduate Institute of Future Studies and head of preparatory office of the Department of Education and Future Designs in Tamkang University, Taiwan. He has written widely on migration and future mobility issues, and today he's going to share his writing, which he has contributed in this book that I have shown you. It is entitled Social Science and Transformation of Society, an observation from Sociology Development in Taiwan. Okay, Prof. Deng, the time is yours.
Thank you so much. Shall I share the screen?
Yes, please. Please do.
Okay.
Professor Jian-Bang Deng is also a visiting professor in CESASS in our research center in 2020. Was it 20 or 19, Prof. Deng?
2019. Yes,
2019.
for 3 months. But for 2 times. The first time is 2018 for 2 weeks, and then in 2019 for 3 months. I'm very grateful for Hamin and Aita and also Hakim to host me in this day, and I have a very great great time there, and so I know a lot of my friends there, and then we continue the cooperation between the both institutions. And I would like to say Taiwan is geographically a little bit far away from Indonesia, and so the connections at the beginning so not so easy. But after the first meeting with Bu Hamin, and she write me a very welcome letter to me, and then in the time of 2017, then we have a conference here in Taiwan, and I invited Bu Hamin and Gilang to come to Taiwan, and then continue in every following years we meet together, and either in Taiwan or in Indonesia. So it's a very because of the pandemic, so it's stop the connections to meet face in face for us. But in the past year, we have a lot of video meetings through online, so that the connection is still there. And right now we are continue to working on the MOU with UK and the Department of Communications Science, and hopefully probably in the Department of Sociology and other departments will continue to have a stronger connection with us. Okay, so today my topics is about the social science and the transformations, and this the first draft I have talked in the conference 2 years ago, and right now I will have a revised version. So first here, this is social science. I would like to talk is there's 2 paradigms. The first paradigm is what we saw in the Western society, social sciences start with 18th century, and there's a strong connection with the development of capitalism. But the social science in Asia, especially in Taiwan, this is very different to that we saw in Western societies. And here in Taiwan, we see we experiences several hundred years of colonization, and this is very similar to Indonesia. Taiwan was colonized under Dutch between the year of 1624 to 1662. So at the time you see the Dutch colonizer, they came to Asia, and then they spread the trade to everywhere. And also Taiwan was part at that time colonized by Dutch. And later on, Taiwan was colonized by by the Qing dynasty, by Spain, and then during the time from 1905 to 1945, the end of Second World War II is colonized by Japanese. And then you will see here the first sociology department in Taiwan was founded only after the Second World War II. It was in time of 5. And then also at the time after, also the Taiwan is under the control of the Chinese National Party, the so-called KMT. And so you will see here the developer of social science, the developer of sociology in Taiwan was very similar to the sociology in Indonesia. We are experiences several hundred years of colonizations, and that kind of colonization has a very strong impact of the social science and the development of sociology. So here first we go back to the sociology in Western society. There are several elements that is very crucial. First is sociology in Western societies. It is linked to the development of capitalism, as I told in the previous slide. So the capitalism development in the middle of 17th century, they start with very radical change, and then the radical change bring a lot of transformations. One of them is the formation of urban society. So the rural people they come from the rural area to the cities, and they form many people. They concentration in the urban areas. So this is the first change of the Western society, and the second factor is the invention of cultural difference. At that time, you see the Dutch people and other Western country people, they use the trade to travel to China, to Indonesia, to Taiwan, and to many places of Asia areas. So they at the time they found the difference between the European people and the East Asia people. So this kind of invention of cultural difference is also to make the society to rethink what kind of society we are. And the second one is linked to the political systems. The very crucial one is at the time, during the time of the developer of capitalism, they also bring the very significant revolutions. One of them is the American Revolution in the 18th century, and the other one is the French Revolution. These two revolutions, these two political revolutions, is not only have impact on the U.S. or the French countries, but also has an impact on the foreign nation building. It is so-called the nation state. The nation state is, as we saw before, is a long history, and then the nation made the state. Right now, many sociology and also historians and scientists, they found this most important is the state, because of nation building, and they come first, and then they use the nationalism to rebuild the nation. So as we see the book here, is by the Benedict Anderson. He also bring a lot of his lifetime in Indonesia. So you see the cover here is about he describe the nation buildings, and he used the term the imagined communities. So an imagined community is not means the community is only a imagination, but any one of us, because we, for example, if there happen a tsunami, then we are think ourselves is so painful with the people they hit by the tsunami, and so this is a build a kind of emotion to connect the peoples you don't know. So this is what the Benedict means. The imaginary community, they make the peoples the regardless the class difference, regardless the poor and rich, and they make all the national peoples, they feel they are together, they are community, they are belong to the same nation state. So these three factors, the formation of urban society, the invention of cultural difference, and the new formation of nation, the modern nation state. These three factors, they made the very potential and important tribal forces for the modern sociologies in Western societies. So if we compare to those trends, those development in Western society, come back to the sociology in East Asia, and especially here, I will explain to you why is the sociology building in Taiwan. So for the Western societies, the development of sociology has to do with the modern society, the modern era. And here in Taiwan, we see this is very totally different, because the long time of colonization. So we don't have time and space, and even the freedom to build the modern social sciences. And if you look at the history, then after the World War II is a good time for Taiwan to build a social science. But if you look, go back to the time after the World War II, then you see at that time is there happened a civil war between inside China. So at the time, you know, the Chinese national parties, they was defeated by the communist parties. So they fled to Taiwan. They fled to Taiwan not only the leader, but also they bring a lot of the military troops to Taiwan. So at the time, they bring around 2 million people. So you can imagine 2 million people from mainland China to Taiwan. So at the time, the 2 million people, they make up around fifth of the whole population. So this is also later on we will see this make a kind of the ethnic diversity in Taiwan, and this okay, can we go? Okay, so here you see this is the ethnic population in Taiwan. Then one of them is the so-called Holo Chinese. They make up around 70% of the whole population, and the other is the Hakka Chinese. They make up around 15%. The Hakka Chinese, we can see many of them in the Indonesia, in the city of Medan, right? Many of them they also belong to the same ethnic group. And at that time, the mainland Chinese, they come to Taiwan, so they make up around the 14% of the whole population. And in Taiwan, we also have around 2% of indigenous people. And indigenous people has a very strong the ethnic connection with the South Asia island. So here we will see, because of after the World War II, Taiwan is still under the control of the KMT, the so-called National Party. So the society itself, because in one part is mainland Chinese, mainland China is controlled by the Communist Party, and Taiwan is controlled by the KMT, by the National Party. So both sides are in a kind of Cold War. So they don't want the people to have a free speech. So you can, society could not allow the people to have a free speech. And this is very difficult for the society, for the government to allow the university to be the so-called sociology department. And the very fundamental reason for that is because they think sociology only a department that train the anti-government activists. So for quite a long time, we don't have the department of sociology. And the other question is, at that time, yes, many people they want to study about the societies, but the society itself at that time is a little bit confused for the academic, because many people especially those who think they are academic, and many of them they all come from mainland China. So for them, they think study on the Taiwanese society for them is not a very central issue. So here you see at the time in 1963, one of them, the sociologist in Taiwan, he write down this paragraph. He say, if we only based on this small island, then we certainly don't have features. So, so for him, of course, there is something is worth to study here. It means the Taiwanese society, but it might very limited, very bounded. So for many people, they think at that time, Taiwan is only part of the Chinese societies. And so Taiwan is, for its best, it could be served as a laboratory. And from this laboratory to look the whole China. So at the time, they understand that society is very different to that way right now we see the Taiwanese society. But at the time of 1955 to 1970, it changed a lot. This is because the US, they want to stop the Communist Party to spread their influence to Taiwan. So they help Taiwan a lot, and then give Taiwan a lot of support, including the financial support. So after the 1970s, then we see the changes. One of the changes is the first one is a move to pluralization. In the 1970s, we see some of the sociology department is building, and then some of the theory was taught in the sociology department. They including exchange theory, symbolic interactionism, and ethnomethodology, and what's system theory. So you see what system theory is. Let's see the whole systems is some countries in the middle, in the core areas, and the other one is in the periphery, and the other one is in the middle. So they are semi-periphery countries. So this kind of theory spread very quickly in Taiwan, especially for the sociology student. So they get such kind of critical thinking. So they become very critical to the government. The second major forces at the time during the 1970 to 1990 is industrializations. So during the 1970s, was because of the help from the US, but also the society in Taiwan, they try to make a lot of industrial goods. So like toys, like the plastic tools, like the shoes. At that time, Taiwan become a major exporter countries. So from in the middle of 1980s, Taiwan with South Korea, Singapore, and Hong Kong become 4 of the newly industrial countries. So during the time, the economic growth is very quickly, and so they have the society become more wealthy during these 2 decades. And the other one is because the society become more wealthy, and then many people to ask the questions, what kind of society we are? So many scholars, they have a lot of debate on the localization of sociologies. The localization here is not study on the local, but it's a little bit a step further to ask the questions, are we the Taiwanese sociology, or are we the Chinese sociologies? So many people to ask about the idea of national identities. So some of the students, including me, and then we suppose we should to put the sociology in Taiwan is Taiwanese sociology rather than the Chinese sociology. So and during the time of 1970 to 1990s, also some of the major local books were published. And here you see this, one of them is the Boss Island. The Boss Island is some kind of ignorant, but during the time of 1970s, here in Taiwan, a lot of the business, they are built, and they are from the very small workshops and from the families. And because the families, they hire some of the workers to work for them, and the workers, they use the opportunities, and they use a very limited capital to build the other business. So the time here in Taiwan, in the 1970s, you see everywhere there are small business everywhere. So then the author right here, the Boss Inland, it means a lot of new business emerging in the 1970s to 1990s. So this is the author. And also in 1980s, there happened a very major event, is the the lifting of martial law. The martial law in Taiwan was announced when the KMT come to Taiwan. So it was in time of 1949. So it existed from 1949 until the 1987. So it's around 37 years of martial law. During the martial law, we don't have the freedom to build a party. We don't have the freedom to making the free sprays. We don't have the freedom to making the to go to street to demonstrations. So you can understand, after the lifting of martial law in 1987, then many people, they go to the streets to demonstration, and they are students, they are farmers, they are female, and there are so many kind of peoples. They go to the street because they don't afraid to capture to the prison. And so during the time of 1980s is a time of democratic transition from the authoritarian one to the democratic countries. And then, as I mentioned in the previous slide, because of the wealthy, the countries, a lot of small business. So in time of the 1990s, the Taiwan become more wealthy, and this is the wealth is not only for a few peoples. It's for many people, they become getting much more wealthy than before. So they build a lot of the middle classes. So the rise of middle classes is a very significant meaning for Taiwan in 1990s. So after the 1990s, then we see then a lot of issues that happens in Taiwan, and the society is allowed to free speech and more plural. And so we see a lot of issues was become to be discussed, including the social inequalities, including the gender, including the ethnic relations, including the medicine and health issue, urbanization, globalization, and social change. And here you see this national health card. This is very common, but this is for people in Taiwan is very important. Regardless you are rich or poor, everyone in Taiwan, they got a national health card, because you can to visit the doctors even during the time of pandemic. You can imagine to visit doctors sometimes very difficult, and because of the national health card, they make a lot of poor peoples, they can use a very cheap way to visit a doctor without to spend a lot of money. So this is also the during the time of transition of sociology, they focus a lot of health issues, and so they make the reform of the national health system. And the other one, because of the time trend, I will go a little bit quickly, so we can probably to encourage some of the discussions. And here is about the social science patient. Before we rely on the so-called SSCI, is a Western system, and in the last 2 decades, a lot of sociology scholars, they encourage, yes, we should have social science citation, but we should have to also have a Taiwanese own, to have our own citation index. Very important is not only we encourage you not to write English, but also, yes, we should write English paper, but at the same time, we should to encourage the very good qualities local papers. So they build the social science citation index. And right now, here in Taiwan, we have more than 100 journals. They cover the issues in psychology, geography, education, sociology, and others. And then also they support the academics here to do some of very fundamental basic research. And here in Taiwan, we have the Ministry of Technology, and they are very generous to support the scholar. If you are very intensive working on research, then every project to apply, the pass rate is around 46. So it's every 2 projects, there's one will be successful to get the funding from the countries. And each project is around 40,000 US dollars. So it's also because of this funding. So I was able to read Indonesia in the past 3 years, and also invited the scholar from Indonesia to Taiwan. So I think that the funding from the government is very important to build the connection of the local scholar with the international scholars. And okay, and we can pass this. And right now we can see here that GDP, Indonesia is ranking on the 14th in the whole GDP volume, and Taiwan is around at the place of 23 in the world. And the next slide. And here, here we will see the foreign investment in this year. We will see a lot of Taiwanese investment not only go to China, but also they tended to go to South Asia countries. And Vietnam and Indonesia is both of our most important partner in South Asia countries. And then it's because of the investing in foreign countries. So right now we see a lot of studies. They study the Taiwanese in overseas, and not only the Taiwanese business in overseas, but also because of Taiwanese business, they invest in foreign countries. They also bring a lot of Taiwanese to working abroad. So it is the so-called skilled professionals. And in this the past 4 years, because of the new president in Taiwan, the Tsai Ing-wen, she announced a new southbound policy, and so encouraging more people to go to South Asia country for work. So here you will see in the time of 2009 and to the 2016, the number of Taiwanese working abroad is continue to rising. And of course, the most major part is China, but the South Asia areas is become the second place attract the Taiwanese people to go to work there. So it's make up around the 15% of the Taiwanese migrant in overseas countries. They move to South Asia area for work. But not only Taiwanese, they go abroad for work. Here in Taiwan, we see in recent years, we have many migrant friends from South Asia countries to Taiwan, and Indonesia is the #1 for Taiwan. And so here you will see in the migrant workers in Taiwan is still in rising. And so we are very grateful so many people in Indonesia, they come to Taiwan and working with the Taiwanese people together. So in our Taipei National Taipei Station, but because of pandemic, it changed a lot. And here is also some of the NGO in Taiwan. They want to help the migrant worker here in Taiwan because yes, we have also face some of the very serious issues because migrant workers in the host country, sometimes they often face a lot of discrimination. And so the government and the NGOs and also the academic organization, they want to encourage, empower the migrant workers here in Taiwan. And so we want as a bridge, as a cultural bridge to make the both society, the people from Indonesia to Taiwan, they feel here also as a second home for them. So this is my presentation. Terima kasih.
All right. Thank you so very much, Prof. Deng, for sharing a very valuable knowledge to us in your presentation. You shared the stages of sociology development in Taiwan, which was strongly bound to the dynamic of political and historical context in Taiwan. Everything is very interesting, but one among others, I think when you mentioned that it was American sociology which strongly influenced the formation of early formations of sociology department in Taiwan. This is very interesting. Maybe this is a bit different from other parts of the world. It was strongly influenced by European traditions on social science. And the second one, before we go to Mas Falik, is about the government support, full support for social science and also social scientists. We really envy you in this case. All right, maybe you can comment on that later on. I will go to Mas Falik. Mas Falik is our discussant today. He is Dr. M. Falik Isbah, yeah? Or Mas Falik, he's popularly known as Mas Falik, is a lecturer at the Department of Sociology at the Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Indonesia. He obtained his PhD from the University of New South Wales, Australia in 2016, and his MA in Sociology from Flinders University, Australia. So over the past 4 years, Dr. Isbah or Mas Falik has been expanding his interest in sociology of work, digital economy, and welfare issues. If we go through his publications, wow, if I scroll down, it's endless. So he's so prolific, and I agree with Bro Hermin that he's the rising star in sociology. Okay, Mas Falik, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Ita. I don't like overrated. Okay, thank you, Mbak Ita, thank you, Bu Hermin, and thank you all colleagues here for giving me the good opportunity to share my views, to share my reflection on Professor Deng's contribution or chapter in this book. Yeah, and yeah, this is actually a great honor as well as a great challenge for me to give comment to Professor Deng. So thank you very much, Pak Deng, for this opportunity. And this is just my learning process. Yeah. Let me share my slide. Okay. Well, Bapak, Ibu, teman-teman, and colleagues, so I give my short presentation here is as an appreciation and reflection from Indonesian context. Yeah. My impression on the chapter, Pak Deng, yeah, it is very excellent work, well structured, clearly articulated. I read it in only an hour. And I finish it, and I enjoy through like ecstasy. Yeah, but I found just minor notes, Pak Deng, on page 109 and 110 to all statistical data. Yeah, the statistical data on the number of university and college students. Yeah, it was from 1990 to 2000, and now it's 2021. So I think we can find more updated data. Okay, and then the second point I would like to share from my impression is that this chapter has a very strong analytical framework, examining the dynamic competition between academic and political powers. And Pak Deng has precisely through three conclusions, as well as he presented in the book, as well as he presented just now with us. Number one is sociology as marginal science under the martial law, martial law during the era of Chinese Nationalist Party from early independence, I think, to 1950s, and then sociology as challenger to the state power during the strong engagement of the academic world or scholar, Taiwanese scholar with the USA from 1971 to 1990, and sociology as a reflexive science from national. This one is happened from national to transnational boundary, and I put note it was possible. It is possible because sociology and sociology as a discipline and sociology as community of scholars, it's kind of take the most, make the most, or stranded on the economic miracle of Taiwan right now. That's what Indonesian scholars do not have, to be honest. In what stranded in Indonesian, probably it's I translate into membonceng kesuksesan ekonomi. And then next, this is, I took the point for this slide mostly from Samuel 1999. I try to reflect here from Pak Deng writing to what happened to our historical trajectories of Indonesian sociology. Number one, that during the Dutch colonial era, we Indonesians have the so-called Indology. It's kind of scientific assessment of sociocultural life of the people of the Netherlands East Indies. At that time, the name was hasn't been Indonesia, had not been Indonesia. So the Dutch people call us Netherlands East Indies. And I think probably Indonesian people are happier to call it Nusantara. The remarkable example of the Indology is History of Java by Sir Thomas Raffles, or Snokburgronje on Aceh and Islam. So those scholarly transition was for serving the colonial government, for understanding the indigenous people and for subjugating the Indonesian people. But at that time, I found information that sociology was taught as minor subject in law school, in Jakarta, as a subject to understand uncivility or deviance. Within the Dutch tradition of law school, in Indonesia and in the Netherlands. And then the second step in independent Indonesia during the Sukarno era, our social scientist course was overloaded with philosophical debate on nationalism, nation character building, and anti-colonialism spirit. And then we move to the next phase of the history during the Suharto era. Sociology somehow as social planning and complementary subject to economics. We have a very iconic founder of sociology as official discipline in Indonesia. His name is Selo Sumarjan. He was the founder of Sociology Department at Universitas Indonesia in Jakarta. He was Cornell graduate. And initially, sociology was supplemented to the Faculty of Economics before spurting to be independent department. and then becoming a department under the Department of Social and Political Sciences. In term, and then the second person, I think the second important person is Hario Nasiono. Yeah, he was demographer as well as sociologist, graduated from Chicago. Yeah, Chicago Sociology Department, and he was very important in convincing and facilitating sociology to be used by Suharto regime. Yeah, he got very several important positions during the Suharto era, such as coordinating Ministry of Social Welfare, and I think the head of family planning agency and etc. So because he was demographer, so he was the key person in the Indonesian success in managing the population rate, infertility rate. And in terms of theoretical mainstream at that time, functionalism and modernization perspective, like you mentioned about Talcott Persson, yeah, he was a kind of standard theory, standard approach in sociological studies at that time. And then sociology in post-Suharto Indonesia. Yeah, it's until now. This is just coming from my glance observation, personal engagement, or information exchange with my colleague, fellow sociologists. We have much stronger institutionalization of sociology as a department or as a study program in tertiary education in universities. Yeah, currently we have 82 study program at undergraduate level throughout Indonesia, and the number of students is always increasing year by year. Yeah, and then in post-Suharto, we also noticed the emergence of critical theory or critical perspective like postmodernism, political economy, post-colonialism, and etc. And in terms of the topics, yeah, in both discussion in the classroom, research publication, and etc., we have somehow much more variation compared to the period of New Order or Suharto era. Like, I think we have very dynamic and emerging publication and discussion on democracy and identity politics, including the issue of religion. Yeah, and then economy and cultural change. What I mean here, including kind of study on consumerism, cultural studies, lifestyle, leisure, and etc. And then demography and development. Yeah, and then only recently we have emerging research trend on digital society. And then I noticed also the mushrooming publication on sociology, yeah, with various titles but related to sociology in Indonesian book, yeah, using Bahasa Indonesia, yeah, but it is for domestic readers in early 2000, but now it's no longer. Yeah, I think Indonesian agree that the peak season or the trending of Indonesian publisher has ended. Yeah, I think 5 or 10 years ago, and it was partly due to our access to PDF file. Yeah, I think Bu Hermin know this more than me. Why the industry of book publisher is ended in Indonesia. Only a small number can survive until now. And then only recently, probably in the last 5 or 10 years, not only sociologists, but also other scholars or other disciplines are pushed by the government for stronger international engagement, mainly to publishing in international journal, and the government use Scopus or other international indexation as what requirement for promotion. Yeah, Bu Hermin has passed and she become professor now. And then
you will follow.
Next. And then research grant allocation. This is sharply different from your story from Taiwan, Prof. Deng. We do not have strong, clear, and long-term policy on research grant allocation. Yeah, especially from central government. Yeah, I think in 2016 there was initiation to establish kind of research funding agency, yeah, DP, Dewan Ilmu Pengetahuan something, but it seemed that the initiative was not approved by the Ministry of Finance or something. The main point, it didn't happen until now. And then if I talk to my fellow from other universities, yeah, their information about research grant or research funding for are various. Depend on what's that? Depend on the visionary policy of the leaders. Yeah, some faculties or some universities has better allocation, but some others has worse allocation. And also there is an issue between academic versus policy-oriented research. Yeah, some people say that it is very hard to attract funding for purely academic research. Yeah, but if we do kind of policy-oriented research or just evaluation research, many different ministries, yeah, in Jakarta, in the central government can provide it. Yeah. And then the next point I would like to share here is also about professional association. In Indonesia, we have ISA, Ikatan Sosiologi Indonesia. ISI, Ikatan Sosiologi Indonesia, or Indonesian Sociological Association. Yeah. But to what extent this association has contributed to the development of sociology, I do not have much information about that, although I'm a member of that. What I see from their meetings, they are busy with the discussion on kind of what we call in English like accreditasi. Yeah, the issue of accreditation by the Ministry of Education. Accreditation is how to achieve certain rank as required by the Ministry of Education, something like that. Not so scholarly engagement or scholarly discussion in there. As far as I found, yeah, Pak Deng. Maybe Mas Hakim can correct me if I'm wrong. And then the last one, this is very difficult question, and actually this is the most important point if I want to relate to Pak Deng chapter about relation with political powers. Yeah. To the best of knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, yeah. Indonesia is very broad countries, yeah, and sociologists are affiliated to hundreds or not 180, at least 82 study program across universities, and across universities, yeah, as well as the sociologists have different level of engagement with power. Yeah, probably in some elite universities, they have stronger engagement with political powers. But those who are in somehow marginalized location, marginalized position in both geography as well as political map engaged so much. Yep. And the last slide, hopefully not too long, but Ita. Think further, yeah. As Indonesia has never experienced a total transformation from rural agrarian to urban industrial society, like Pak Deng told us that Taiwan has transformed dramatically from rural agrarian to be urban industrial. But Indonesia is not like that. We still have about 30% of the population work in agricultural sector. Not 30%, 30 million, sorry, 30 million. But and then our industry is not so strong enough. Yeah, many people rely on informal sector, small trading, and etc. Indonesia sociology need to step on in between approach, yeah, not totally embrace as studies of urban society, yeah, not totally embrace on studies on industrial society, but we need to think about this gray area between rural agrarian and urban industrial. I have a concrete example of this from my personal research experience. I did a research on job aspiration among youth. Yeah. When I read many literature on job aspiration among youth, I found very strong tendency that youth are embracing or aspiring toward digital jobs. Yeah, that's I read studies by ILO, studies by ASEAN Foundation, and etc. in many other countries. But in my finding, in my research, I found that the youth I interviewed, I found several young people who are able to earn money and earn livelihood from digital job, but he told me that he asked him, do you want to be digital job as your long-term career? Some of them said no. Why? Because it is very hard to explain to my future mother-in-law. Ya, susah dijelaskan kepada calon mertua. Ya. From this finding, yeah, I conclude that young people still think that job is not only about earning money, but also about social status. This case is a reflection from the transition, or not the transition, but the blurring gray area between rural agrarian and urban industrial society. Yeah, because some of Indonesian societies still hold traditional cultural values, traditional worldview, and etc. And then the next point I would like to highlight is that Indonesian sociology has challenges to increase its visibility in international area. Yeah, I think this point also Pak Deng mentioned in his presentation. Number one is due to language barrier, and then weak support for proper academic research, yeah, funding support or institutional support, yeah, and then the last one is teaching oriented. Yeah, when I talk to my fellow academic from many different universities, I think only few who has a strong eagerness and commitment to research and publication. Yeah, most of them talk about how many students you have in your department. Yeah, because the number of students are the concrete income for the department and for the university. And many universities applied policy and encourage, yeah, all department or study program to attract more and more students in order the university to earn income. This is the fact. Yeah. So in many ways, probably we can say this is some challenge or hindrance to what we call as what bringing Indonesian sociology to the higher level in international arena. And the last point from me, yeah, there are three factors shaping the nature and future of Indonesian sociology. Yeah, number one is state attitude and policy. From state attitude and policy, yeah, I think somehow similar to Pak Deng framework in your chapter. And then number two is development and societal change. Yeah, what happened in our development and the society changing. And the last one is marketability, because as a discipline, sociology need to maintain their marketability. What I mean by marketability can be the number of students taking sociology as their major or as their study program, as well as the ability of sociologists to sell and to convince their result, their academic result to policymakers. This is I think this is important point in Indonesian context. And thank you, Baita. Thank you, Pak Deng. It is a great honor again for me to talk in this good occasion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mas Falik, for your thorough and also conscientious response to Prof. Deng's word on the development of sociology in Taiwan, taking the experience of the nature and the future of Indonesian sociology. I think this is also very good to further discuss on this issue. I don't know whether Prof. Deng, do you want to respond to Mas Falik's, well, it's not assessment, but points to your article first, or how should we proceed this?
I want to I think first is I think Falik give me all the opinions. It's very nice to is very good comment to the book chapter, and then to compare the Indonesian sociology development with the Taiwanese one. And for me, I then also learned a lot from the Falik comment. And here, just a few comment feedback to Falik. And this is about Falik at the end mentioned the stronger forces for the sociology development in Indonesia is state and the society changing. And the third one is marketable abilities. I totally agree with Falik because here I think the state itself is very crucial for the development of sociologists. The state should be not only providing money, providing funding, but the most important is it should be to be more neutral, to give the free space and free speech for the academic, so they can speak what they want. Many times the sociology they don't speak the state they want the state wanted to say. So they sometimes they made a lot of critical thinking. But for health country, I think this kind of critical thinking, critical comment for a democratic state is very, very important. And all the Southeast Asia countries, including Taiwan, I think right now we are still close to the democratical countries, not the full democracy that we have seen in Western countries. So how we become a fully democratic country is very, very important right now and in the futures. And sociology in Taiwan, sociology in Indonesia, I think this department and the academic in sociology and the student, they could play a very important role to push the country a step forward to become a progressive countries. And of course, right now we face a lot of challenges because the student, as Falik say, the student want to get a position in their career is prestigious. So the prestige is very important for them to choose which department they want to studies, and how sociology they can become a very good choice for those students. So sociology, they train the student not only to let them to become critical, but also they should push to help the student to become more competitive in their job career. So here in Taiwan, we see right now some of associations, sociology association, they merge together to build a certificate for sociology student. It means if you study sociology and then take some of the courses, then later on you can get a certificate to become a social researcher, and then will help them to get a better qualified job in their later career. I think that this kind of a method, they were also important for us to train more and more sociology students, and then make them to get a better career. And the other way is the funding. The funding, I think, when Indonesia is getting the more and more wealthy in the coming decade, I think the government very probably will give more funding to the academic here in Indonesia. And social science is definitely making a larger share to get the funding, and I hope there will be in the coming decade to see. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Deng. Now is our time for question and answer. Most welcome for anybody who wants to raise questions, both to Prof. Deng or to Mas Falik. Yes, we have a lot of guests here, new faces as well, from West Java, from Singapore, from East Java. Mas Hakim is opening his mic. Maybe he's ready to ask a question. Please do, Mas Hakim.
More authority.
No. All right. Thank you, Mbak Ita, and thank you, Prof. Deng and Mas Falik.
Mas Hakim, please on cam.
It is necessary to on cam, right?
We cannot see your face here, Mas Hakim.
You can see I'm wearing blankon, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mas Falik and Prof. Deng. Yeah, I'm really enjoying your presentation. Yeah. All right. Can you see me, Mbak Ita?
Very handsome.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Prof. Deng. I really enjoy your presentation, and I think I learned a lot from how both you see the development of sociology both in Taiwan and in Indonesia. I have actually in mind some question, but maybe also relevant to both Mas Falik and also Prof. Deng. Yeah. First of all, Prof. Deng, yeah, you have mentioned about the development of sociology in Taiwan, and then you try to relate it with the influence of the US. Yeah. In this regard, I would like to hear your opinion on how sociologists in Taiwan try to have their own kind of perspective. Like in Indonesia, we're struggling to say that sociology Indonesia or Indonesia sociology kind of, yeah, try to develop the indigenous sociology kind of, yeah. So how this kind of spirit also also influence the sociologists in Taiwan, and if so, if there are kind of spirit to have that specific character of the sociologists in Taiwan, what is the very characteristic of, or very identity of the sociologists in Taiwan, Prof. Deng? And also, this also applied to Mas Fali, actually. Mas Fali, you mentioned about the different period of sociology, of sociologists in Indonesia, from the early independence to the post-reformasi, ya, Mas Fali, ya. But I think sociology Nusantara is still not clear yet, yeah, for me. You mentioned about the Nusantara, or how we imagine our community as Nusantara, as the Hindia Belanda, yeah, post-colonized by the Dutch, and we identify as a Nusantara. I think we still in the very, we are still struggling, yeah, to if we are trying to have our perspective on that, or our strong identity of our perspective or paradigm on that, can you see any challenge for us to develop that kind of sociology Nusantara? And also, Prof. Deng, actually, I'm very happy. Yeah, I know Prof. Deng. Actually, this is because Prof. Hermin, of course. Yeah, I know Prof. Deng, and the first time at the PSSAT, yeah, at the study center there, and I owe that really to Prof. Hermin and Mbak Ita. Yeah, but from that, I expect that, Prof. Deng, we can develop stronger cooperative and comparative research, and then we try to how we can learn from one another, and then develop kind of, more ASEAN perspective, or kind of, based on our local experience and research, and then we have our own perspective, maybe to explain our society that might be very much different from the one in the US or in the Europe, yeah, as the center of the the sociology, where you mentioned about the first development of Western perspective, yeah, in sociology, especially at the global level. That's my Ita, yeah. Actually, first, how we can explain the very characteristic of sociology in both Indonesia and Taiwan, and then the second, how we can see the possibility, yeah, especially between us, Indonesia and Taiwan, to get or to develop, more our theoretical perspective that based on our really local development, yeah, Mbak Ita, yeah. That's, I think, I love to hear a comment from Prof. Deng and also Mas Fali. Apart from that, excellent. I'm really enjoying, Mas Fali and Prof. Deng, your presentation you're sharing with us today at the Friday night. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, yeah, yes. Thank you.
Yes, we forget that this is Friday night. Thank you, Mas Hakim. Maybe directly to Prof. Deng and then Mas Fali.
Yes, thanks so much for Mas Hakim's questions. It's very good questions. Yes, to the U.S. Influence in Taiwan, I think in the 1950s, in the 1960s, at the time, the sociology in Taiwan is fully rely on the U.S. and all the theories, all the models, they come from the U.S. So here in Taiwan, even now, we see the sociology is a very strong emphasis on the statistical method. This is also the influence from the U.S. And this is a positive part, also, and including the negative part. The positive one is because of the US, and then the sociology become much stronger here in Taiwan. A negative part is in the past several decades, the sociology in Taiwan is so strongly rely on the US sociologists. And even when I was the university student, my textbook was written in English. So when I studied ethnic relations, it's not studied ethnic relations in Taiwan about the conflict between the mainland Chinese and local Chinese. It studied the ethnic relations about the black and white in the US. So it's at that time I think the sociology is a kind of strange to the local life. So after the after the lifting of martial law in the end of 1980s, and then we see the most many scholars they tend to the other way to study on the local society. And in recent year, I also see as PESA, they also have your own junior. So many people they encourage you to study on the local society. So the first one is I think it's not against the Western societies, as uh, many Chinese friends that I saw in mainland China, they want to build a sociology for their own. I'm not in that way. We still can to communicate with Western societies, communicate with Western sociologists, and even borrow some of the theory from the Western. But we should to make debate on land. And the way we make a debate is we have very stronger field study. As Baita has doing a lot of anthropological studies in field studies in Indonesia, and that way we can get some of the very crucial data from the local, and this data would help to make a perspective about the Indonesian society, about the perspective of Chinese society. And as Mas Hakim said, and we can cooperative with each other to make a perspective, Asia perspective, to explain the social society change in Indonesia and Taiwan, because we are the same society. We experiences the colonizations for many hundred years, and this is the same experiences for both of us. So as I do see in the features, there are many changes that we can work with each other very closer. And the other answer is to the also the Dr. Falik mentioned about the relation to political powers. Here in Taiwan, you see the president right now in Taiwan, the Dr. Tsai Ing-wen, the president Tsai Ing-wen, she is graduate from law school, but many of the helper to the kingmaker here in Taiwan is graduate from sociology. So sociology here in Taiwan is very close to the political power. So I think the sociology is not so periphery. If we can to explain what the society changes and what the society it really need, then we can help the party leaders, the countries to give them advices, give them the suggestions, and to make the societies a step further, to make a progressive society. And this is what we as sociologists can do. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Baita. Thank you, Mas Hakim, for your response. I think for responding to your point about the possibility to develop Indonesian sociology, yeah, as strong genre. Yeah, probably I would like to start with a comparison with anthropology. Yeah, the what's the difference between sociology and anthropology is that if we read many main literature on sociology, yeah, especially from Western context, yeah, they are talking about urban industrial society, yeah, and that's what the tradition of studying urban industrial society doesn't attract Western sociologists to come to developing countries. Yeah. In contrast, anthropologists, yeah, the nature of anthropology is studying about rural, they say indigenous people, and the nature of the discipline attract Western anthropology come to developing countries, including Indonesia. So scholarship on Indonesian society, if we read English book and English article, I think much more produced by anthropologists compared to sociologists. Yeah. And that body of scholarship, that international mapping affecting our chance, yeah, from the sociology as discipline to engage to international arena. Yeah, so I think we notice that very strongly if we, for example, I attended a conference on Indonesian anthropology at our neighboring faculty, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, yeah, FIB. I saw many well-known world-class anthropologists coming, yeah. But when I attend a conference organized by Indonesian Association of Sociology, not so internationally engaged. Yeah, only a few people from other countries, and those are only invited, not coming by themselves. So this different nature between anthropology and sociology also become a challenge for us to develop the so-called Indonesian sociology. If as sociologists, if we are not engaged to international debate, international conversation of sociology, people will not recognize us as, oh, this one Indonesian sociology. Yeah, that's a challenge. It will probably enough. It will be different story if we think that in order to name us as Indonesian sociology, we just doing research in Indonesia and develop domestic conversation among Indonesian and engage our research finding to only limited Indonesian Indonesian scholarship, let's say like that. So I think if we compare to anthropology, sociology has greater challenge to develop their gender or identity in international public. And then the second challenge is about the different nature of Indonesian society compared to society. Yeah, as I mentioned during my talk, that sociology has a very strong conviction, very strong notion that society has transformed from rural agricultural to urban industrial. Yeah, as what happened in Taiwan context. So a person like Pak Deng, yeah, can convincingly this is the sociology of Taiwan, or Taiwanese sociology. Yeah, because you are studying urban industrial society and engage to the similar discussion, similar debate from Western scholarship. But in Indonesia, it is somehow needs kind of customization. Yeah, customization, how we can engage or we can develop a conversation with our research finding in a context of Indonesia, which is not totally urban industrial society, to the body of scholarship at a global level, which in many ways it is mainstream are very urban and industrial. So I think this second is also serious, but I think there are some works claiming as certain theory or certain perspective. Yeah, but I haven't convinced yet in terms of the ability of the perspective to generate new concept or new something. What I understand from this literature claiming as a certain theory or certain perspective is that they declaring that we are from developing countries, we are from certain countries, are not the same as those in the Western countries. It's somehow like post-colonial studies. Yeah. Yes. That's hard to express. Sorry. Okay, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mas Falik. Okay. Yeah, it is very interesting. But I saw many participants who raised their hands. But first of all, let me invite Prof. Hermin first.
Thank you, Pak Isbah. Yeah, I really connect with the sociological field because I really falling in love with Niklas Luhmann, sociologist, really. And after some time that it's very relevant in my perspective, because we're talking about communication, and Niklas Luhmann say that society of society is not human, but society of society is communication. And I think it's already 10 years until now that I trying to transfer it to the students, and I challenge the sociologists. I think it's time for you to take a look the Luhmannian perspective, because we already entering the world of modern society, that they think that not anymore that we are in the more vertical society, but we are already horizontal society, and that is characterized by the descent, by the conflict. Every system will conflict each other, and with that tools, I think the sociological perspective can describe more and more. I mean, yeah, there are so many experts in Habermas and friends, but Luhmannian is not that. I mean, to talking about communication is the basic of society, and we will come to the work that as Dr. Falik say, that we are so unique. So I think we need something come from our society itself to read what's happening in our society, and that is Luhmann things, autopoietic things, that the problem rise from the society and from the communication that we are doing, then we come to the solution for the society. So I hope that you will start with Lumanian thing to additional some perspective. But yeah, in Taiwan, I think Prof. Deng already introduced me to the some friends, yeah, that also Lumanian, yeah. So I think, but maybe hope that also Prof. Deng also can what is that bring this perspective also to see the dynamic of the society that really full of conflict and no more consensus in every level. So that is only my challenge to the Prof. Deng and Dr. Falik, or the sociologists, what is that, thinkers. Thank you very much, Baita. Only such additional information.
Thank you very much, Prof. Hermin. So, Mas Falik, apart from the challenges that you just mentioned before, you have another challenge now. You should read Luhmann. Okay, thank you. Do you want to respond, Mas Falik?
No. Probably.
Okay. Thank you. We go to Mbak Aminda, and then followed by Mbak Nur Imrotus, and then feedback from Prof. Deng and Mas Falik, please.
Thank you very much, Maita. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, very clearly.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof. Deng and Dr. Falik, for the interesting and fruitful discussion. It is indeed difficult for me, which is the one who has been learning, as a person who has been learning sociology in a very third stage. My background is IR, so I believe sociology is the basic knowledge of social science, and I really love to learn sociology more, to go deeper to my study. So I have questions for both of you related to this third stage of scaling up of sociological practice, which is a global sociology. As maybe you know, and everyone in this Zoom might know, that a global sociology is the culminating phase of reaction against universal sociology. Right? It is introducing geographical space as central to the formation of knowledge. So many emerging sociologists nowadays, they are interested in learning geographic information system and GIS and other research tools, and adopts to new research methodology and all that is not common and not traditional for sociologists. So I have a question regarding to this. How does this development in the West, or maybe in a global context, influence the social science development in Taiwan and Indonesia? Is there any influence? Does the sociologists in both countries would like to adopt to this new development? And also the second question.
Sorry, what was your first question? What was your first question?
How does this development of global sociology phenomenon, that requires you to adapt to the new research tool and research methodology, and also different perspective, influence the social science development and sociology development in Indonesia and Taiwan? So would the sociologists wanna learn more about this thing, or would they just be like doing traditional, traditional sociologists and explore only this phenomenon of rural and urban thing? And my second point is more a comment rather than a question. This is highly related to what Dr. Falik mentioned about the new young sociologists that who doesn't want to learn more. I guess what I got from your slide, so they have language barriers, and also they have like what is that, obstacle when they were asked to answer the question of what is your job, and then you cannot explain that, that kind of thing. I think the phenomenon of global civil society that is currently emerging, the current movement of new generation, millennial generation, Generation Z, such as global climate strike, initially emerged in Europe and also spread throughout the world. Then today, our youth adopted the global climate strike to have the same movement in Indonesia. Another example is also Milk Tea Alliance that I believe we know what is happening in Asia, from Hong Kong to Singapore to Thailand to Indonesia. So it's like global civil society phenomenon that is emerging right now. And I think that this will be also useful for young sociologists to explore. So it's not only about the debate about rural and urban, but also about this global civil society as a standpoint, So it is such a new field and interesting field to explore. And I think we have to have a faith to our young sociologists, not to trap them in a very traditional box, as you are a sociology and you have to learn this thing. But I as a young scholar myself, I would appreciate if the social science environment in the country would support me to learn new things and unlearn new things also. Yeah, so it will also useful for them for their future jobs and also skills required for young sociologists to the industrial sphere. Yes, that's all about it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
You're much welcome, Mbak Linda. Maybe this is a strong call from a young, also rising scholar from Singapore. Maybe Prof. Deng and also Mas Falik can respond first before we go to Mbak Nur Imrotus.
Yeah, Pak Deng first. Please go first.
I go first?
Yes, please.
You first.
Okay. Thanks for Anita's questions. The first is about the global sociology. Of course, I think not only Taiwan, but also we see in Indonesia, in the previous stage, the sociology, the major test is focused on the national society of its own. So the sociology in Taiwan at the time focused on the society in Taiwan, and they focus on the urban and rural areas. They focus on the industrializations. But we see in the past decade, more and more tensions, more and more focus on the cooperations between Taiwan and countries in outside Taiwan. I mean, many scholars here in Taiwan, they have a cooperation with international scholars. So they focus on the issues on, as you mentioned, the youth have engaged more in the global civil societies, and then some of the issues they focus on the social inequalities or other issues. We see a lot of cooperations between this beyond the national borders. So the issues they beyond the national borders, and also the methodology they use. Also, they use a lot of social media new method and to research about how the society, how the sociology today is it's become cross borders, and why the global sociology become more important. I think very importantly today is the forces of globalization. The forces of globalization, they push the people not only movement inside the society, but they also push the people they move out. So we see the migrant workers in Taiwan, but not only migrant workers. Of course, we have a lot of Indonesian students here in Taiwan, and also many Taiwanese people. They go abroad for business, for work, for another purpose. And so these kind of forces, they push the national sociology to become more global. So I think this is a very fundamental forces to push the sociologists everywhere in Taiwan and also in Indonesia, or in the coming decades will become more global. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Deng. Mas Falik, please.
Yep. Thank you, Mbak Aninda, for the question. I smell very strong spirit of international relation from your question. Okay, but it is again very challenging for sociologists to develop or to innovate in terms of research method. Yeah, as you mentioned, that global sociology, there is a strong trend in using what's that, like geographical information system and internet-based research and etc. As far as I know, in Indonesia, I think number one, which is still popular, is traditional fieldwork. Yeah. And then number two is secondary data analysis using data from Statistic Bureau, IFLS, or what's that, Pew Global Institute, and etc. And the new one, which is emerging, is ethnography. Yeah, ethnography. And but related to your second point, but what's that? Attention on the phenomenon, what cross countries, yeah, cross border phenomenon. I haven't found, unfortunately. Probably it is partly because what's that? The funding limitation. Yeah. If we receive only a small, tiny research fund, how we can doing research in several countries, for example. This is cliche, but this is a fact. Yeah, please do not use your Singaporean glasses to look at this issue. sorry, that's fine. But this is the fact. I think to the best of my knowledge, yeah, when I haven't found any. Oh yeah, but I found some postgraduate student, yeah, in UGM doing research in other countries. Yeah, for example, I examined a doctorate student doing research on Indonesian migrant workers in South Korea. Yeah, she did the field work for 2 months in South Korea. I think this is something new and also good news, because on very rarely we can find Indonesian doing a field work out of Indonesia. Yeah, this is not common, but this is, I think, we can expect more and more research done by Indonesian scholars in countries other than Indonesia, although somehow it is still has a relation to Indonesia. Yeah. Thank you, Mbak Aninda. Sorry if I can pick interesting story for you.
Okay, Mas Falik, thank you. I hope that Mas Falik has also answered Mbak Aninda's call. Thank you very much. The time is running so fast, but we will have Mbak Nur Imrotus on the cam. Please, Mbak Nur. Please tell you, where are you from, Mbak Nur? Looks so familiar.
Please. Okay, thank you, especially for Bu Hermin for sharing invitation and very interesting interesting question and also very important. My question is, and maybe I'm one, especially with the last one, and also Mas Hakim at the first question. I'm very appreciate Mr. Deng when you talk about how politics involve in part of increasing and also thinking of sociology in Taiwan, but how now sociology also increasing industry is also interesting. Is this correlation about the influence of American perspective, or it's I don't know, in the political situation as well? It's also a response to my differentiation about. It's not clear. But, hello.
Yeah, your voice was disappearing. In fact.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe can I?
Yeah, you can turn off your camera. No problem.
Can I turn off my camera because
yes.
it's maybe
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Sampai mana tadi Mbak? Okay, well, for Pak Deng, maybe could you please to explore more or explain more about how American perspective, or maybe how political, or maybe I am okay. Maybe it's not that. How in the increasing of industry in Taiwan contribute by sociology because of the influence of perspective of American, or because another matter, I don't know, maybe a political or another ones. And also for Mas Falik, you mentioned about the kind of perspective how sociology involve subject in Indonesia according the period, but you didn't mention about how the social movement influenced by sociology as well. I don't know, when the era of 80 and 19, I think that Indonesian is very influenced by sociology perspective, while talking about social criticism and also social movement, especially I heard, and also I read some document from NGOs. They use sociology perspective on their spirit or their movement. And you also mentioned about the publisher business running down here now, because I think it's also because the sociology perspective is in the 19th era, and now Indonesia publisher here is like a little bit, I don't know how to say, the sociology is quite stuck in the time. Maybe you can explain why, or maybe this is a phenomenon is like, yeah. And at the last one, I also thank you for Bu Hermin mentioned about the interdisciplinary things regarding the communication, and mentioned about Niklas Luhmann. I also want to know how about in Taiwan and also in Indonesia, the progressive of interdisciplinary things influenced by sociological perspective, how it happened now, and maybe you can say, thank you. Sorry for my long question. Thank you, Mbak Ita.
Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Nur Imrotus. Maybe we go to Prof Deng first, and then Mas Falik.
Okay. Because of some of the questions, because of the Wi-Fi is not so short question, so I try to answer the questions not enough. Please ask me again. But let's think the question by Noah, and the question is her interesting is about how the sociology to have the industrialization. If I correctly understand your question, the question is I want to borrow the theory from Buhemi's theory about Newman. Newman said the autopoiesis. So I would like to say the economic growth in Taiwan or economic growth in Indonesia is not because of sociologists. Sociologists not really cannot do much for the economic growth. But the sociology can do is to describe the process of social change, the process of economic growth. And in the past, in Taiwan, under the authoritarian regime, the government say the major helper for the industrialization is the leader, is the KMT party. But later on, many of the sociology, they say no, not the state, the most important, not the leader is the most important, but it is the small business people. The business people in Taiwan, they make up more than 90% of the economic goals. So this is, I think, the sociological contribution. They give alternative explanation for societal changing, and then they give the voice to the small peoples, and then I think those kind of voices, they will make the society more healthy and make the civil society. If we do have the so-called civil society, and they will make the civil society more stronger. And if the civil society more stronger, I do believe they will make the societies in a very progressive way to make the Indonesian societies to become as strong as the US, as strong as China, as right now we see. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mas Falik.
Yeah, thank you. Mbak Nur Imratus, very good question. Thank you. Yes, I was somehow not so accurate in dividing the in dividing the period and the general trend. Yeah, mainly what you mentioned about that during 80s and 90s. Yeah, there was a very strong influence of critical theory and critical perspective from sociology to cultivating the idea of progressive politics, yeah, to cultivating the radicalization in among social movement or student movement at that time. I do agree that, and we might say that during 80s and 90s until the fall of Suharto, the circulation of critical theory was somehow was underground. Yeah, and then it became mushrooming in public sphere only after the fall of Suharto. Yeah, for example, in early 2000 we can find a lot of book on critical theories and alike. And then your second point, that there is not as vibrant as in the early 2000, yeah, because the sociologists do not produce much work on that. In my view, part of the problem, yeah, part of the reason is that the state policy on giving more value, giving more credit for journal article publication, writing article on journal compared to writing book for domestic publisher. That's, I think, somehow influencing the productivity of book written in Indonesian. Yeah. So those who are able to write article in English, yeah, they choose to write article in English because article in English are valued higher, higher credit, and also higher probably monetary incentive, monetary reward, yeah, financial reward, I mean, Mbak Nur. Yeah, that's also a logical reason why not many people write book in Indonesian anymore. Yeah. Thank you, Baita.
Thank you so very much, everyone. This is really lively discussions. There are so many issues that we can talk and dig more. I don't dare to end, in fact, but it's already 20 to 9. Okay, and this is Friday night, as Mas Hakim mentioned. But maybe, Prof. Hermin, do you want to say something?
Yes, I think Prof will still stay in Jalan Kaliurang, so no worry, we can just continue the discussion.
Right, right.
Okay, nice. I think very lively discussion, and I hope we can develop this kind of discussion. I think provoking sociologists to finding the new tools to understanding the society, as Professor Jian-Bang Deng say that the role of the sociologist is trying to find the tools that fit or can capture the dynamic of the society, and that is the real problem in scientific thing. And I think in communication science, I also think really aware that we cannot separate communication from the landscape of the wider landscape of communication itself. That's why we really waiting for a new perspective from the sociological thing. Thank you very much, Prof. Deng. Thank you very much, Mas Falik. That's really a nice meeting this evening. Thank you, and hope you can join us. Thank you also, Prof. Fadil, that you can stay with us. Professor Fadil also expert in social worker actually, and I hope that sometime or in the next future you can discuss with Professor Deng also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
May we hear some words from Prof. Fadil?
Yes, please, Prof.
Just
Fadil.
a teaser.
Please, Prof. Fadil.
Thank you, Prof. Helmin. Very nice this night. Okay, thank you, Prof. Deng and Falik. I'm very happy. I I think the point of this discussion is how to develop all sociologists in Indonesia for the human welfare. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Prof. Fadil. Okay, thank you again for everyone.